I remember an incident that happened a couple years ago. I must have been about 18, and I was up at my hospital in Oxford, seeing a doctor I'd never seen in my life before. He didn't know me, he didn't know my case, he hadn't read my notes. It was an entirely new experience for basically both of us. He brought me into his room in a bit of an emergency manner. I got brought up to Oxford in an emergency, and he sat me down and said, Lewis, you've got cancer. Now, at the time, I assumed that he meant I have cancer somewhere else in my body. But because he was so in the dark about everything, he'd actually just re-diagnosed me with the same condition. But there was no context, there was no clarity to say otherwise in that moment. So I left that appointment thinking, oh my God, I am the unluckiest man on the planet because I now have cancer in not one but two places on my body. I'm done for, Everything I've ever been trying to move forward with mentally has just come crashing down around me, and I'm now back to square one. It really hit me hard mentally. But as I say, it was a huge mix-up. The doctor in Oxford had completely made a massive error and basically re-diagnosed me with the same condition I'd already had for so many years. So, as you can imagine, I had gone through this huge amount of pain and sadness to complete and utter fury. I was so annoyed that someone can make such a big error. It's not like you diagnose someone with cancer on the willy-nilly. It's not something that just happens day to day, That's a big deal. So I was annoyed. A few days later, I had to have another routine plaster cast appointment, which was actually quite lucky because I got to speak to Derek about all that had gone on in the days prior. Being able to speak openly with him, not only a man who's a medical professional, but someone who understands me and my situation, but also listens, just listens, It is so valuable. And it was so valuable to me on that day, and it is still so valuable to me here and now. I left that appointment with a much clearer head and a weight lifted off my shoulders for sure, all because of a simple chat.